Before we jump into the video, I just want to let you know that these videos are of my friend, not mine, but my friend's. He deleted his channel. He asked me to upload them here because, he's quitting. So I'm just sharing them on my channel for you. Hope you like it.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel where we talk and learn about basic stuff. Today's topic is the difference between infinite and infinitely, and the requirements for 5D. Let's start with, what is the difference between infinite and infinitely? They both have the same meaning of something being infinite, but they apply in subtly different ways. Let's break down each term. Infinite is an adjective that describes limit, boundary, or end. It's often used in mathematics and philosophy to refer to quantities or sets that extend indefinitely. For example, numbers. There are an infinite number of numbers because you can keep counting forever. Space. Some theories propose that the universe is infinite in extent, meaning it has no edge or end. Infinitely, however, on the other hand, is an adverb describing how something can be done, or how a property exists in an unbounded or limitless way. It emphasizes a process or a characteristic that can continue without limit. For example, infinitely small. If you keep dividing a number like 1 by 2, you can go on infinitely, approaching 0, but never actually reaching it. Infinitely large, adding numbers repeatedly makes the sum grow infinitely large. In a more accurate term, infinite means a set of something in either quality or quantity, while infinitely means something that is growing or increasing rapidly without an end. It's not a set of infinite, but rather an endlessly increasing number. Here is a small explanation on types of infinities as well. Countable versus uncountable infinity. Countable infinity refers to sets that can be listed one by one like natural numbers, whereas uncountable infinity refers to sets so vast that they cannot be listed, such as real numbers between 0 and 1. Cardinality. Infinity can have different sizes. For example, the set of real numbers is a larger infinity than the set of natural numbers. So what did we learn today? That infinite is not the same as infinitely, unlike a certain YouTuber I know of, who takes things literally. Now let's get on to the second topic. What are the requirements for 5D? 5D is a dimensional tier that most commonly in power scaling is used when a character transcends space-time. But is that it? Is that the only way to be 5D? The answer is no. There are other ways to be considered 5D. Take a hyperspace, for example. A hyperspace is 4D at base, but depending on the character's cosmology, it can be higher. Say a universe follows string theory, which usually means there is a hierarchy of 11 dimensions, each one being qualitatively superior to the other. The hyperspace in this universe would be 12D, although that still would need context because a hyperspace can be one of the 11 higher dimensions. Anyway, if the character's universe have a hyperspace above the space-time continuum, the hyperspace would be considered a 5D space. And if the character can affect or destroy that space, he would by extension be considered 5D. And yes, if you are 5D, you automatically become low-complex multiversal. Today we will learn about dimensional scaling, the difference between subspace and hyperspace, and lastly what a fallacy is. So let's start with dimensional scaling. Many people seem to be confused on this topic as they don't understand the difference between affecting a dimension and being in a dimension. The confusion is that being in a higher dimension makes you higher dimensional, like let's say, Person 1 says that his character goes from a third dimension to the fourth dimension, therefore, he's now a fourth dimensional being. This is false, as you can't just scale to such dimension by just being in one. That's like saying if I enter a house, I scale to it. In order to scale to the dimension, you have to destroy, or at least need to have AP to affect the entirety of the dimension. For example, I need to destroy the house, or at least need to have enough AP to affect the house with my power in order to scale to it. Now, affecting can mean anything like shake, almost destroyed and stuff, so you'll need context on that part, but you get what I mean. So again, if you can enter a higher dimension doesn't mean you scale to it. The difference between a subspace and a hyperspace. First, let's talk about a subspace. Subspace generally refers to a space that exists alongside or within our conventional three-dimensional space, length, width, height. It is often depicted as a parallel dimension or a layer of space that can be accessed to circumvent the limitations of normal space travel. Now let's talk about a hyperspace. Hyperspace expands on the subspace by often implying a higher dimensional space that allows for travel or movement faster than the speed of light. It's a term that suggests a realm beyond the conventional three-dimension we perceive. While both enable fast travel between points in space, hyperspace has the additional capability of faster-than-light travel in a higher dimension, whereas subspace typically operate within the speed limits of conventional space travel. What is a fallacy? A fallacy is a mistaken belief, especially one based on unsound reasoning. In logic and rhetoric, a fallacy refers to a flaw in an argument that makes it invalid or misleading, often leading to an incorrect conclusion. Let's take an example. Person A says, "A politician is corrupt, therefore all politicians are corrupted." This statement is a fallacy because it makes a sweeping generalization that if a politician is corrupt, therefore all politicians must be corrupted, which is not necessarily true. It ignores the fact that there are honest politicians who work with integrity. Let's take another example. Let's consider our argument. Premise 1. All cats have fur. Premise 2. This animal has fur. Conclusion. Therefore, this animal is a cat. The fallacy here is affirming the consequent, where the argument incorrectly assumes that because the consequent, having fur, is true, the antecedent, being a cat, must also be true. This reasoning is invalid because having fur does not exclusively lead to the conclusion that the animal is a cat. The presence of fur is a necessary but not sufficient condition to conclude that the animal is a cat, as there are many other animals with fur. In essence, a fallacy is any claim that misleads or is incorrect. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. I will sure to make more of these. So please like and subscribe for more videos.